Welcome to Concrete Block. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're focusing on a developing story from the Democratic Republic of Congo, where President Felix Tshisekedi has raised the prospect of standing for a third term and potentially delaying the next presidential vote. This move has sparked anger among opposition politicians, who accuse him of attempting to break through mandate limits in the Constitution and cling to power. According to reports from multiple sources, including the BBC and Reuters, President Tshisekedi made these comments during a press conference on Wednesday, stating that he would accept a third term if the people wanted it. He also mentioned that any change to the Constitution would require a revision approved by referendum. The current Constitution limits presidents to 2 terms, and Tshisekedi's second term is set to end in 2028. The opposition has criticized his remarks, warning that this could plunge the country into renewed political turmoil. Former presidential candidate Deli Sasanga took to social media to express his concerns, stating that the DRC cannot enter a new cycle of institutional tensions and the personalization of power. It's worth noting that the debate over a possible constitutional revision is unfolding against the backdrop of insecurity in the East, where rebel groups control large swaths of territory. The president has cited the ongoing conflict as a reason why elections may not be possible in 2028, saying that you cannot hold elections when parts of the country are occupied. We'll continue to monitor this situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's clear that President Tshisekedi's comments have sparked a heated debate about the future of democracy in the DRC. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're diving into a complex and sensitive topic in our middle segment today. The situation in the Middle East has taken another turn, with reports of increased violence in Gaza and the West Bank. An Israeli airstrike has killed the son of Hamas's chief negotiator, Khalil Al-Hayya, who is involved in U.S.-mediated talks over Gaza's future. Al-Hayya died from injuries sustained during an attack on May 6. This incident comes amidst a surge in violence between Israel and Palestinian militants. The Israeli military has intensified its attacks on Gaza's Hamas-run police force, which the militant group uses to reinforce its hold on the areas it controls in the Strip. At least 3 police officers were killed and several others wounded when an Israeli airstrike targeted a police post in western Gaza City. The killing of Al-Hayya has sparked widespread condemnation from Palestinian leaders, who accuse Israel of attempting to undermine mediators' efforts to push ahead with U.S. President Donald Trump's Gaza plan. Hamas officials have stated that the group will not engage in serious talks over the implementation of the second phase of the plan before Israel concludes its obligations stemming from the first phase, including a complete halt to attacks. It's essential to acknowledge the complexity of this issue and the deep-seated concerns on both sides. The Israeli government maintains that its strikes are aimed at thwarting attempts by Hamas and other Palestinian militants to stage attacks against its forces. Meanwhile, Palestinian leaders argue that the Israeli military's actions are disproportionate and exacerbate the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. As we navigate this intricate and sensitive topic, it's crucial to prioritize fairness and balance. We must recognize the legitimate concerns and grievances of all parties involved, while also acknowledging the devastating human cost of the ongoing conflict. The situation in the Middle East remains a pressing global concern, with far-reaching implications for regional stability and international relations. As we continue to monitor developments, we will strive to provide nuanced and informed analysis, avoiding bias and sensationalism. Welcome back to the show, folks. We're wrapping up today's Concrete Block with a look at the latest developments in the ongoing conflict between the U.S. and Iran. As we've been following this story, it seems that a potential deal may be on the horizon, with both sides engaging in mediation talks facilitated by Pakistan. According to reports, the proposed framework for a deal would involve a 3-stage process, formally ending the war, resolving the crisis in the Strait of Hormuz, and launching a 30-day window for negotiations on a broader agreement. U.S. President Donald Trump has expressed optimism about the prospect of a breakthrough, stating that they want to make a deal. It's very possible. However, Iranian officials have signaled skepticism about the proposal, with some describing it as an American wish list rather than a realistic solution. The deal would reportedly leave out key U.S. demands, such as restrictions on Iran's missile program and an end to its support for proxy militias in the Middle East. Despite these challenges, the prospect of a deal has already had an impact on global markets, with oil prices dropping by 3% and share prices rising on optimism about an end to the conflict. As one analyst noted, the contents of the U.S.-Iran peace proposals are thin, but there is an expectation in the market that further military action will not take place. As we consider this latest development, it's essential to approach the situation with a critical and nuanced perspective. While a deal could potentially bring much-needed stability to the region, it's also important to recognize the complexities and challenges involved. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.